Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going back out fossil hunting at Robin Hood's Bay. The last few videos I've done horse good at Robin Hood's Bay. This time I'm just going to go to Robin Hood's Bay and head north. But I've also had a few requests for some more of the sort of guide videos, so I'm going to try and create this one as a bit of a guide as we go. So I'm up at the station car park. It's the long stay car park at Robin Hood's Bay. It's also got loos and facilities. If you are coming here, it is a good place to park. It is free over winter, but there is another car park which is a little closer, and so we're going to wander that way, and I will point out the bus stops as well when we go. So this is the way down from the entrance of the car park. In the event you are taking public transport to Robin Hood's Bay, there's a couple of bus stops, one over there and one just there. That will get you to and from Scarborough or Whitby, depending on the direction of travel. So fairly easy to get to. And then from there, you just finish this little walk, and there's another little car park here, just on the right-hand side. It tends to get busier because it's obviously closer, but I don't believe the pricing is different to the one at Station Car Park. So this one, if you can use it, tends to be easier to get up and down to, so you have less walking on the other way. And then from here, you should be able to just walk down and through the gates here to the left hand side, and that gets you into the north side of Robin Hood's Bay. It's signposted as the rocky foreshore. You can go the other way, which takes you towards the old village and the beach, but the fossil hunting there is not as good. If you're going to go fossil hunting on the south side, I'd head to Boggle Hole. Hopefully you can not get too wind blown and wind swept. It is a lot windier than I was expecting. I was hoping to be in short sleeve t-shirt, but I've still got my jumper on. So we've got this little walk to do, and then we get down to the beach. So yeah, down onto the beach proper. You can fossil hunt all of this. There are pebbles up against the barriers here, the seawall, but I won't be doing that today. With a beautiful view over the Ravenscourt over there, what we're going to do is quickly get moving around. There is a cut-off just here, right in front of the camera as you come down. It's a really nasty cut-off, so that's the one that we always have to be careful of. You can't get down here too early, like 3 hours after the high tide is about as good as you can get around that corner, but it is also one on the way back that we have to be very careful of, because otherwise you are getting very soggy trying to cut around. The wind is blowing onshore today, so I'm expecting some of the cut-offs, especially as we get towards the shipwreck and then towards the big bay far jetics, it could get a bit more interesting, but we'll just have to keep an eye out. So I pretty much stood on top of the first of the big cut-offs. As you can see from how green the foreshore is as we go through it, you know that the water will come right up here, and yeah, it does make life very dangerous when you're coming back if you're not paying attention to the tides. This whole section is turning quite green with the summer algae coming in, so we will just keep watching our footing as we go, and yeah, start looking for some fossils. I've come this way because I'm looking for some more starfish. I've had some pretty good luck with them in the recent trips, and having spent most of our time doing the Horsecore sections, I thought, why not I do the Robin Hood's Bay side of it and get effectively a double hunt on this side for it. Whether we'll find any starfish, I do not know. I doubt it. They are pretty rare, but it gives me a chance to have a look for some of these rarer ammonites. They're all lower lias generally until we get around towards the shipwreck, and then they'll start becoming middle lias rocks, and then we'll get into the upper lias if we get all the way around to the big bay at Fargetics. We'll start looking. Yeah, it's still just in that very first bay after the cut-off, and yeah, it's the first ammonite, so we've got a few little androgs there and there, and then a bigger bit over there. I'm going to probably call most of the things androgs unless I know for sure otherwise, because the androg and their family relatives tend to be the predominant thing you find here. But if I get it wrong, please don't shout at me in the comments. Help me learn, because the lower lias ammonites I am not great with, and I do not pretend to know them all. That there is the cutoff. This is as far as I've got, and this is a Lytoceros. Yeah, so my thumb is basically on the big outer whorl. You can see the section there and there. So it looks like the middle will be completely flat and gone, which is pretty par for the course with the middle lias litos and lower lias litos. I'm lucky enough to have one that has got a middle. But I actually might just take that one, just to show off to the other two who are off doing the Horsker section. I'll point out now, whilst I'm walking across the bedrock, some pinna bivalves, big old bivalve, lots of other bits and pieces through here, a big chunk of wood here. The bedrock in Robinhood's Bay is all SSSI protected, so legally you cannot or should not be hammering into the bedrock. If you think you have found something that exceptional that it needs digging out, you should inform Natural England. Yeah, so just coming to the end of the first little section, there's been some big falls, and some of these sections looking very precarious, so I imagine a lot more will come down. You do not need to be under them, even if you're set out a bit further down here on some of this bedrock, you're probably still at risk. So if you're coming down for picnics and stuff, don't sit under the cliffs, and don't put your kids in risk. And depending on how much you want to hunt this versus get around to the middle and upper lias stuff, you can just cut right along the water edge here. As the tide goes out, that gets easier and easier, or you can do what I'm doing and fossil hunt all of the rocks as you go along. There are loads and loads and loads of fossil shells in all of these blocks. And as you might hear in the background, there are rock falls still ongoing, but we've got beautiful bivalves. I keep calling these shells tusk shells. I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but they look an awful lot like tusk shells. They are the things that keep confusing me when I keep thinking I've got a new starfish, because they look kind of similar to a starfish leg when you first see them. So yeah, lots of things to look at, and we'll just keep looking for some more exciting things. So ammonites and starfish proper. I say starfish proper, starfish and brittle stars and the like. So we just keep working along, lots and lots of shells. The thing I'm keeping an eye out for are little sections like that might indicate there are ammonites in blocks, but that one is not even worth hitting. But as you see, big old beach, so lots and lots to look at. The higher winds have clearly done some moving of material, so in the bedrock we can see a lovely bed of shells. These are all Gryphea over here, so plenty of bits. Let's go have a look at what I saw just now. Yeah, some big pinna bivalve shells in the bedrock down here, and another may not look like an awful lot. I mean, it's not an awful lot really, but this here is a bunch of fossil coral polyps that you can see going through this block. I suspect, without knowing 100% sure, that it's from the Carboniferous in age, so much older than all the rocks that we're walking through. Like the rest of the Yorkshire coast, there were glaciers that pushed down across the last ice ages and dropped what we call a boulder clay. And in the boulder clay are lots of bits of rock from all around the country, and also all over Scotland and sometimes in Norway. And so we do get some of these really old rocks washing up amongst our other fossils, and there are some outcrops of this boulder clay towards Boggle Hole, so that's probably where it has come from. Another nice little bit that was just shining up at me out of the water. So yeah, not worth keeping I don't think, but some pretty bivalves. Yeah, as we keep walking on the beach, we're slowly climbing up through age, so we're getting younger and younger as we go. But there hasn't been an awful lot more to show you, just that I am still going. And yeah, it just takes a bit of time to get your eye in to find fossils anywhere. And Robin Hood's Bay does not have the density of ammonites that some of the other sites, the Saltwick Bay, Brunswick Bay, Port Mulgraves, have. And they are all slightly different type nodules. And so when you're looking for an ammonite nodule, you might not see them in the same way here. And that's part of my problem, is I don't spend enough time in this age section of this bit. And so I'm sure there are loads and loads of bits of ammonites that I'm missing. But we keep looking. Kindly though, it keeps popping up signs that there's ammonites. There's one there, there's a partial bit there. So it's not like we are completely out of them, just nothing much for the bag since the very beginning actually. This is a glorious day, just rapidly approaching the final bay for this definitely okay to do bit. I've got about an hour 10 before low tide, so I might just pop my head around to the next cut-offs just to show you what they look like and see if we can find anything in the little bay that's mostly middle lias stuff. Yeah, it's not one that I found originally. This is one that Sean found a few trips back, and you can just see a leg right there of a brittle star. It doesn't seem to be anything more associated with it, but it's nice to see that it's still here and that I'm still seeing them. And this is the other landmark I always use, is this beautiful Amaltheus that someone got out. I say someone, I know who got it out, but someone got out a while ago. But it's nice that that's still there, always a good landmark. And yeah, that's the shipwreck just there. We're going to just scamper around just to show you off what the cut-offs look like over there, and you can just admire the view along with me all the way over to Ravenscar. Yeah, not a lot left of the metal structure, at least not here. It's a bit scattered across the other section to the coast, and the section of the concrete hull I believe is over there in the water still. But yeah, this is the mark for the end of the Robin Hood's Bay section. If you're doing the Horsecar walk or walking back from Horsecar, you'll come around that headland, and that's just where we're going to pop around just to see what's over there, because there's been a few falls of late. So we're just going to have a nose. I think the wind has shifted enough that the cut-off shouldn't be too bad, but again, this is why we're just going to have a look. If it is terrible, we'll just come back. You can see why these cut-offs are some of the most feared cut-offs on the coast, and that's not just us trying to hype it up and make it sound more exciting so videos get views. These are actually quite dangerous cut-offs. If you get the time wrong or the tide wrong, you are going to get very stuck and not have a good way out. So yeah, we will just be careful. This one, we are okay at the minute. The wind is still from behind, so shouldn't be pushing them on shore anymore. And yeah, we've got one more bit just up here that we will check out. And this is the second particularly nasty cut-off. And yeah, this is the one that you always want to be very careful of. There has been a big fall of the grey shell stuff when we were last here. I think we might have been amongst the first to find it. And so there were lots of nodules. But I've seen a few people have been through making videos and posting things on the group, so I doubt there's going to be much left, but we'll have a quick look and then yeah, get into that little bay there, which is the middle lias stuff. I got a nice little Amauroceros out of it last time, and then maybe poke our heads into the big bay to see where my friends are who are hunting the Horsecar section. You can actually see from this little shelf here that the seas and tides have been doing their work. They've been slowly pulling apart that fall and bringing bits out, and so if we look down, you might just see that there's a nodule just in here. I've got a couple that I've picked up as well, so I want to show you the nice one. It's a beautiful split on a semi-salatum. This other nodule is very flat, but there is a little bit of an edge. I might just give that a tap just to see what it looks like. So yeah, the semi will go in the bag. Yeah, a nice big flat one in the shales. A few more nodules, but nothing of note. But just seen another nodule just there. So we will keep looking. A few good ones. So that was the one I showed on camera just now. There's a beautiful big semi. The question is whether or not that's exploded or not. It runs all the way to here, so if it is, it's a beauty. We will see. And then another one here that, if we can get the camera to turn around, you might just see the edge of the keel sticking out there. So we'll get that one out with a chisel. So the one that was in the rock is a beautiful little semi, and the other one that I picked up a bit earlier is a belemnite. You can see just a bit of belemnite, and then the fragment kind of following it in. Yeah, it doesn't look like much, but there's a nodule somewhere to hit. I hit it again, and yeah, there's a bit of rib in it. Yeah, probably will stay here on the beach, but interesting to see. Just gonna have a quick look in this bay. It's mostly middle lias, although grey shells and slightly higher up stuff does fall in or get washed in. It's not particularly big, doesn't tend to have an awful lot in it because it's not particularly big, but you may get lucky. And the others have made it around, so bang on time for the tides. Doing a good job. Put up on a very tempting looking nodule, and it's lit really nicely. An interesting little ammonite right there. I do wonder if it might be an amaltheus. I'll go ask Sean, who is far better at identifying these things than I. The other chunk of rock that I'm just working down has a big chunk of pleuros sitting in it, so I might just give this another tap. I don't think this pleuros is complete, I think it's just a piece. And the tide is rushing in. It is time to start heading back. And now back through all of the dangerous cut-offs until we get just short of Robin Hood's Bay. But it gives us a chance to have another hunt for some ammonites and maybe a brittle star if we are lucky. But ammonites would be nice because my selection from the middle and lower lias is very, very poor. But we shall see. Yeah, I just saw this ammonite. It's a bit squished, so I thought I'd just give it a tap, and yeah, it's actually pretty well preserved all the way down, even though it's squished. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye out for brittle stars. They're a bit tricky to see at the best of times, and yeah, I've been lucky with the ones I have seen, but I was hoping this might have been one here, but I think it's actually just a crinoid. And so you can see a little star ossicle there, and I think that's just stacks of the ossicles on top of each other, rather than legs, which I had been hoping when I first stopped to look at it. And not a lot of ammonites on that last section. Sean did manage to find a decent partial starfish. Sadly didn't get to film it before he got it in the bag, but you have to just trust me. It's not bad, but alas, nothing exceptionally rare nor any spectacular ammonites from the lower or middle lias for me today. But the amaltheus, I think, might be a new one for me, but I'll have to go check all of the collection and see what we've got. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know it's a bit weird for me to kind of talk you through a site whilst fossil hunting, but that is how I've tried to do this one today. And if you haven't enjoyed it, my apologies. If you have enjoyed it, just give us a thumbs up and make a comment. We'll be out again, hopefully fairly soon. Where, I do not know. I keep promising we will not be back here, but the allure of another brittle star seems to just be drawing me back. But I think Ravenscar is calling, and I think Saltwick and Port and Bowlby and all the variety of places on the coast are calling. I don't know. We'll figure out something fairly soon and be back making some more videos for you shortly, and we'll catch you in the next one.